Does your teen have tasks to complete over the summer? Do they have no actual homework set, but they're wondering whether they should be doing some work and what that should be? Here's my thoughts on this. So I know that for some students, they do get set some assignment tasks or some prep tasks, especially if they're in year 11 going into year 12. But for many students, there's nothing really that's specifically laid out for them to do over the summer. And some parents and students just see this as, no, this is a total time to reset, and that's absolutely what a lot of students need. They don't need to be doing anything else. For other students and other parents, they see it as, okay, this is a time where we can get ahead a little bit, get an edge, and get ourselves set up for success for the next year. And I absolutely agree with that as well. It really depends what sort of student your teen is and what their aspirations and goals are. So I want to talk a little bit about what I'm advising some students to do over the summer. Now, some students who have signed up for my coaching program definitely have some training tasks and some little bite-sized chunks to go through that is absolutely structured and set up for them and is totally going to set them up for success next year. And for other students as well, I've also been talking to them about what they could be doing over the summer just to make sure that they don't lose some of the progress that they've made this year, and so that they can be set up in a way that makes next year as smooth and stress-free as possible, and of course as successful as possible as well. So here's what this looks like. So for some students, it's going to be going through some of my online trainings over the summer. For some students, it's going to be, let's take one example of a student that I've been working with. She is going to be we've set together the goal that she is going to do 3 maths questions per week over the summer. Now for some people, they're like, okay, that's not too bad. Like, that's not a lot of stuff. Other people are like, what? 3 maths questions every week? We're going to do 1 easy, 1 medium, 1 challenging. She's going to. She's just going to check in with me. And what I said to her was, okay, all of those little things are going to add up, okay? Because that's going to be around 20 questions that she's got done over the summer that take her into grade 12. That means that she's not going to have that summer slide where we just sort of lose some of the memory in terms of what we're remembering to do, some of the skills that are going to get a little bit rusty. Plus, she's going to be in a better position when she has to revise for the exam that includes that unit's work that she's just covered in term 4. And 20 questions, again, to some people might sound like, oh my goodness, there's loads, and it is going to make a significant difference. And for other people, they're like, oh, it's only 20 questions. Like, what difference is that really going to make? Now, if you've been around me for any length of time, you know that I believe that every little counts and every little helps when it comes to getting students better results, more confidence, and less stress. So this is going to create less stress for her in the future, because when it comes to revising for that exam, she's going to be in a much better position. And what I said to her was this: at some point during the summer, and it might literally be in week 1, your brain is going to sit there and tell you, it doesn't really matter if you skip this week. What difference is 3 questions going to make? What difference is 1 question going to make? What difference maybe is 20 questions going to make? And that's definitely going to happen. That's what I said to her. I was like, don't think, oh, I'll probably be fine. I'm like, that definitely will happen at some point. There will be some time that comes along and you're just not going to feel in the mood, and then you're going to tell yourself it's not going to make much difference. So what I said is, you need to actually be ready for that. And the way that I tell students to do this is to think about their future self. So it's a little bit like saying, when you're stressed out and wishing you'd done more earlier in that week before those exams, think about what you would be thinking or telling yourself in that moment. So if you could go to your future self, and the person that you want to be and how you want to be feeling and the results you want to be getting, what would you tell yourself? What would your future self tell yourself now in terms of the decision to make in that moment? So I've heard this phrased as something called gifts to your future self. What is your future self going to be so grateful that you did in that moment, or the choice or the decision that you made in that moment to maybe do something that you weren't over the moon about, but you know you're going to reap the rewards later. That's one way to think about it. Now, I'm going to break this little segment into two. So I'm going to record another video that follows on from this, because we also want to set ourselves up for success. Because if that task feels incredibly difficult in that moment, you know, or the books are put away, we've got to get the stuff out, we don't really know which questions we're going to do, it's going to be even more of a struggle. And it's going to give that little, devil on the shoulder even more of an opportunity to get in and ruin all of our plans. So we want to set ourselves up for success. So catch me next week in the next video, where I'll give you some practical tips that your student can take and your team can take to help them succeed with any plans that they have made for themselves over the summer. So that's it from me for now, but look out for my next video. I'm Katie Price, Great Transformation Expert, and until next week, let's make this a fantastic week.